Hi everyone, here is your weekly forecast from 12th of April till the 18th of April. Wow, this is a busy week, so make sure you get your coffee or whatever you need to get this video through, but we're going to be talking about plenty of things. So there is going to be Venus square in Pluto, then Juno is going to be going retrograde in Sagittarius, then we're going to have a Sun sextile Mars, then we're going to be talking about Sun in Aries, which is going to be sextile in Jupiter in Aquarius, then Sun square in Pluto energy, and then probably the 17th is going to be one of the busiest day of the month because we're going to have four major aspects. Mars trining Jupiter, Mercury sextile Jupiter, Mercury trining Mars at the same time, and then Mercury is also squaring Pluto as well. So we've got loads to talk about. But, oh, and let's not forget about even Venus moving into the sign of Taurus, but I will be making a separate video about that because I feel like it would be way too long. Anyway, so the day is going to be starting, or the week is going to be starting with Venus squaring Pluto. Now, this aspect is a little bit of a challenge, of course. Venus being the planet of love, and Pluto can indicate when the relationship, for instance, are a little bit strained, because Pluto has got this possessive and insecure nature. So you might be feeling things a lot more intensely today. You might be actually a lot more suspicious as well, or you feel that your feelings are not really reciprocated from your partner. And therefore, you show some type of clinginess or possessive nature towards them. You might even try to manipulate the person you are with, or maybe the social interactions you are making with other people are a little bit more manipulative as well. So, but it can create some type of resentment as well, because, I feel like, I really touched with the shadow self of myself. So yes, possessiveness and insecurity are the major keywords when we talk about Venus square Pluto. Also, just, Pluto has got something to do with the power and the control issues. So that could also be arising in your existing relationship. Maybe some of the compulsive manipulative behavior is going to be coming onto the table, which you guys need to be talking about, such as jealousy. Um, and, at the root of these behaviors, there is always a deeply buried kind of fear or insecurity of not being loved and not being appreciated and valued by my partner. So if you are noticing these behaviors in your relationship, then you know that the person is somehow threatened. And maybe they are even going to be giving you an ultimatum. They might become a lot more smothering as well in the relationship. And this unhealthy pattern within the relationship could cause some type of breakdown as well. And it could become painful and dramatic as well from time to time. But on the very same day, Juno is going to be going retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, just a little bit of an announcement. I am going to be making a webinar about Juno because it does represent the perfect marriage partner in our chart if it's well supported. So this is a very influential asteroid on relationships, but it is also something which can talk about betrayal and resentment as well in relationships. So Juno represents, or Juno actually has got this 4-year and 4-month kind of cycle. So it takes approximately that amount of time to make that trip around the zodiacal circle. And when, as I said, when it's stable, then actually Juno represents your ideal relationship, which is based on fairness and equality. And when it's a little bit of a blown up energy, then Juno also talks about toxic and old patterns within the relationship. And when Juno goes retrograde, actually, one of the questions it is asking, am I in the right relationship? So some of the controlling manipulative behaviors in the relationship will somehow get exposed. And in many cases, Juno even represents something to do with a breakup, especially in those toxic relationship. So Juno represents somehow the injustice within your partnership. Now, the previous Juno retrograde cycle was actually in February 2020, which lasted till May 26th of 2020. And it was between 21 degree of Libra to 5 degree of Libra. So this Juno retrograde actually somehow brings that period of time back, because we know that there was COVID situation going on, and plenty of relationships got tested. And now this Juno retrograde period brings back the energies of the previous year as well. So Juno helps you understand the cycle in any form of contractual partnerships. So remember that a marriage is also a contract between two people. So marital or business partnership doesn't really matter, but Juno represents those. I usually say that Juno is the spouse in our chart. And it can indicate what is the kind of the perfect partnership you need. And living Juno through that sign and house where you are having, it could be very, very helpful towards your relationship patterns. So, by the way, Juno goes retrograde in our skies about every year and a half. And when she does, she takes us into this several month-long journey into the past to uncover what may be hidden or forgotten about our relationship matters. So it can be quite a hard one. As I said, it does call into some type of ways to think whether this is the relationship I strongly want to be bound to, right? So am I in the relationship? Why am I in the relationship? Does this really work out? Or even if we are single, then we might be asking the question from ourselves, what does it take for me to get into the right relationship? Why am I not attracting the right people? Why has it not happened yet? So, and usually, the Juno is more about the committed relationship. But it doesn't only apply to the committed long-term personal relationships, but also, as I said, business partnership and consultancy businesses as well. So it might be an indication of, why am I not hiring the right person? Or why am I not working with the right contractors? Or why am I not attracting the right client into my life? So all these questions are going to be very pivotal for us in the next 10 to 17 weeks, because that's how long the Juno retrograde period lasts. And by the way, it is also part of the grand Venus cycle as well, which lasts at least about 4 or 5 years. Now, on the 13th of April, Sun is going to be sextiling Mars, and that's going to be happening on 24 degree Aries to 24 degree of Gemini. Now, I feel like this aspect is actually giving an extra level of strength to us. Obviously, Sun is still in exaltation and Mars rules that sign. It is not necessarily a mutual reception, but it is also very powerful. These two are going to be talking about initiation, getting things started. It gives us courage to do something about our life. it energizes us to do something, maybe actually something you want to start which you have been scared of. So it's all about activity and action. And I know I might have said this quite a lot this month, but let's not forget we've got so much Aries energy going on, right? And I feel like this Sun and Mars sextile is reinforcing the new moon energy which just took place a day before. So this is very much about getting ready for new challenges. Um, you know, Sun and Mars, both about vitality. So it really gives an energetic dynamics to you today. It even helps you to boost your self-confidence or something to do with your physical strength. So maybe a brilliant day to go to the gym and then trying to break your record of how much of a bench press you can do, for instance. So any type of exercise, manual labor, fighting or sport activities are very favorable, especially those ones which have got a little bit of a competitive nature. Also, some of the business activities could be going quite well as well, because at the end of the day, that's something which is quite competitive field as well. You might actually get a boost to tackle some of the difficult projects thrown at you. Maybe it was actually thrown at you in the past, but you have got the motivation to get those sorted. I feel like you can start a new project in a very confident way as well. And I feel like it's kind of a waste not to consider this aspect, because you can get very productive and you can have successful outcomes of those. This gives you quite a direct attitude, self-assertiveness, and it's all about winning at the end of the day, feeling superior and feeling a lot stronger than ever before. Now, on the 14th of April, Venus is going to be moving into the sign of Taurus, but I've already made a separate video on this, so I will be posting that also for you. So I recommend keeping an eye on that, because there is a lot to discuss, and I wanted to kind of give you a little bit of an idea what Venus transit means in each of the houses, so you can prepare yourself on an individual level as well. Now, on the 15th of April, Sun in Aries is going to be sextiling Jupiter in Aquarius, and that's going to be happening on 25 degree. So again, a brilliant aspect, because we're talking about luck, being at the right time at the right place. Jupiter is all about believing in yourself, and Sun in Aries is all about action. And this is exactly what we need if we want to be successful. But maybe this aspect also tells you that you need to give the benefit of a doubt to others as well. So a little bit more trusting, because they might be able to give you something you might not be having at the right at the moment, right? Let's not forget Jupiter is in the sign of Aquarius, which talks about the collective. This aspect also has got a very generous type of energy. So it does tell you to share something with others, because you might be extremely grateful for something, maybe grateful for wealth and abundance, but maybe you are grateful to have a great family because you see an article about a troubled kid. For instance, Jupiter is the natural representation of kids as well. So somehow it is asking you to share that joy and that wisdom with others as well. It is very good to, for instance, write a review about someone you admire. And I hope I'm going to receive plenty of good reviews from you, for instance. But these two are very much about leadership skills as well. So you might need to be stepping up your leadership skills and with the sextile, because at the end of the day, this is a luck aspect. So you can be having some luck, being at the right time at the right place, and you might get a project which you didn't really count on, but you are extremely happy about it. Or maybe there is going to be a benefactor appearing in your life, or you might be able to connect to someone who inspires you. It's all about optimism. So it's all about looking ahead. What's the future? What's in the future for us? And being, enthusiastic about it. This is the day when you might feel very uplifted. But remember, this is all about receiving and giving as well at the same time. So there is this give and take type of quality to it. Brilliant day to get in touch with gurus or getting a guidance from someone else, especially if you feel stuck in your life. So it does bring optimism, good luck, happiness, whether you believe in fate or free will. In either ways, you somehow get lucky, and your positive way of thinking can attract good things and good fortune in your life. And fortune is not necessarily about the material aspect of life. I just want to put that out there for you. This is a brilliant day to reach some of your goals, because there is not so much resistance going on at the moment, in the sky. Now, moving on to our next aspect, which is going to be on the 16th of April, and Sun straight away going to have a different feeling to it, because it's going to be squaring Pluto, and that's going to be happening on 26 degrees of Aries to 26 degree of Capricorn. Now, it is an energy where kind of two authority figures are having a fight. So it's a little bit of a clashy aspect. Sun is all about illumination, and Pluto is all about the fear. So you might realize that I'm going to have to deal with some of my insecurities, which I really feel uncomfortable about. You might be feeling that someone is trying to overshadow you and you want to be pushing that person away, or you might feel that someone is trying to push you and that makes your life a little bit more uncomfortable. So this aspect very much talks to you about what is okay with me and what's not. What are my limits and how far can they push me, or how far can I stretch my own power as well? So the major topic of this aspect is something to do with power and controlling issues. And depending on the area of life in your chart, it might be within your family or at work or even in your partnership. So when you have got the Sun and Pluto square, it does make someone very ambitious about achieving their goal. But it does indicate that we need to be a lot more responsible, for instance, in our home environment as well. So somehow there is that little balance going on, which can go, because the Sun is the light and Pluto is the darkness. So, you might be a lot more fascinated with death or metaphysical type of things as well today. And you don't know which one to believe, right? A square is a Saturnian, Marsian energy. So it kind of talks about a tug of war. But it is also the aspect of concentration on important issues. And you might not be able to concentrate that easily, right? Because you feel that something needs your complete attention and you want to be paying attention to something else. You might feel a little bit more depressed as well. So the Sun is the planet of vitality and Pluto is pulling you down. Kind of to the underworld. So maybe I want to be a little bit more hidden, like the Scorpio type of energy. So we can be a little bit more pessimistic. But this aspect also kicks our butts to have a lot stronger will as well. This is a very tense astrological placement, actually, when the two planets are kind of colliding and both of them are extremely powerful. So power struggles could be one of the topics we might be experiencing with that. Pluto is the governor of the metaphysical and the darker aspects of our life. So it does tell you that some type of transformation and rebirth is needed. So during this transit, we might want to be more in control, but others are a little bit more reluctant about it. And therefore, we can have some type of ego clashes going on, especially with authority figures. Argument and crisis situations also very much possible. and some of the self-destructive behavior as well. We can take our behavior to the extremes. We might feel just challenged by others, or others might start challenging our behavior, and therefore we're going to be creating a defensive and the withdrawn type of outlook. So the next day, the 17th of April, well, probably this is the busiest day of the month. We are actually having four major aspects. So before we actually go into it, I might be just listing them separately for you. So Mars is going to be trining Jupiter on 26 degree. Mercury is going to be sextiling Jupiter on 26 degree. And Mercury at the same time is trining Mars as well. And not to mention the Mercury square Pluto, which is on 26 degree. We have got so much 26 degrees going on. So maybe it is actually worth having a look at what 26 might mean when it comes to numerology. So if you're looking at some of the numbers or in numerology, then basically when it comes to the multi-digit numbers, such as the 26 degree, you're going to have to evaluate them by trying to bring them down to a single digit. And the root numbers are always from 0 to 9. So when it comes to the 26 degree, basically we can be adding up the 2 and the 6, and the root number, the vibrational number of that multi-digit energy is something to do with number 8. So number 8 is, as far as I know, so I'm not really a numerologist, I would like to put that out there. But what I know about it is that it does include somehow the 2, the 6, and the 8. So the number 2 is something to do with cooperation, teamwork, and an emotional introspection as well. And number 2 is also somehow with the partners, kind of your sidekick, really, because the number 1 is the person who is leading and gives the original ideas. Number 6 is something to do with the homemaking. So it is also called as a perfect number because somehow it brings some type of stability and harmonious energy together. So if we try to put these two numbers together, then actually it really talks about a stable and a reliable team player or a partner whose energies or thoughts are very kind of helpful for others. And when we are adding up these two numbers, 2 plus 6, which equals with 8, we are receiving a very high functional number, which is all about achievement and success. So number 8 is so much to do with building, creating, and something to do with large organizations as well. And to be frank, I feel like the numerological part really summarized these 4 aspects very nicely, because that's exactly what, from an astrological perspective, things could be talking about. So it could talk about alliances, which could be very successful. The major elements of these aspects are the Mercury, Mars, and the Jupiter. So Mars and Jupiter is all about optimism together, and Mercury is the idea. So I can really bring my ideas forward. The Mars-Jupiter energy is happening in air signs, which could talk about modern technology or something to do with even phone calls. So we can use these technological type of advancements to make some type of success in our life. Both Mars and Jupiter are very enthusiastic. It has got the drive to get things done. And it is not only about the desire to get things started, but also it gives kind of a self-belief as well that, yes, I am able to do this. And I feel like this is the perfect recipe for success. So when we try to break down these aspects, the Mercury-Jupiter sextile is all about agreements. business deals, and even it can give you opportunity in writing, publishing, or just to sign a contract with someone, formalizing an agreement, for instance. But this is also a brilliant day to learn, to study something, or if you want to be holding a lecture, or if you want to study something, then taking some courses, very possible. This is one of the reasons why I'm going to be starting, for instance, my vocational course around these days. And actually, it's going to be starting on the 18th, because it's brilliant to start a project about sharing information and sharing knowledge with others, even your ideas as well. Now, the Mercury and the Mars part of it has got a little bit of a technological and a methodical type of approach. So Mercury, which is Mercury and the Mars together can be very much about skills and detail planning, and something which is more strategized. So it does support your future in vision. It's like having a diagnostic tool and going step by step. And that's exactly what you can be doing if you are making some type of business arrangements. It's also very good for speaking about the truth, especially because Mercury is going to be having a square to Pluto, which for me is a truth serum aspect as well. So with that Mars, we can be kind of cutting the crap out of things, and then I go straight forward. But the sextile element might be giving us a little bit of an edge of not being so rude. Mercury Mars sextile is more about problem solving, or trying to figure out the solution for any type of matters what we are having. So let's not forget that all these are happening in air and fire signs, and those two are very compatible. Those signs are masculine energies, which is all about straightforwardness and going ahead in life. So even promotions or some type of success in corresponding emails or exchanging words or making some great connections with others, also very, very possible. I feel like these aspects are very much about a broader outlook on life. You can be making excellent decisions, or you can easily or clearly visualize or verbalize something which has been forming within you, but you haven't been able to, put it in nice words so far. So all these together are a little bit more about positive thinking as well. Good communication skills today. You might be a lot more open to self-expression, or you might want to be socializing a lot more, or just the way you speak is richer and more fulfilling, or maybe your friends are coming forward for some type of advice, or your friends or yourself become a lot more approachable as well. And you're going to be seeing that people want to get your opinion on certain things. However, as I said, we do have got a little bit of a Mercury square Pluto energy to it as well. Now, we spoke about that sometimes at the beginning of the year when we also had a sextile going on. But this time around, it's going to be a square. And this is something where our way of thinking could be very obsessive. We might be obsessed about doing some type of research or detailed investigation about something, or you might want to be having a difficult conversation with someone. And this time around, with the square, it is kind of intensified within yourself. It is kicking your bum to do so, because the words want to come out of your mouth. And remember, we spoke about that Mercury already in the sign of Aries, that we can be a little bit more agile and we can be a little bit more straightforward. So with this, Pluto is really bringing the deep issues onto the surface. So this is very much about telling the truth type of aspect. But your mind can be very overloaded as well with this constellation. So you know, probably we need to remember that we can do only one thing at a time, and we really need to be planning things out. You might become a little bit more suspicious as well. You might believe that people are having some type of hidden motives towards you, and you want to have more transparency going on. So, but you might become a lot more opinionated as well. You might say things which you actually regret later on. As I said, Mercury is very much about your mental process. So you might be wanting to talk about your perception around the surrounding world, and you're going to hear something which actually agitates you a little bit. I feel like you can even freak out a little bit about things what you see going on around yourself, so you can be acting or saying strange things as well, and you might feel a little bit misunderstood as well. You might want to be talking about a lot more occult studies as well, or you just want to be having a desire for power or destructing something, an old way of thinking, for instance, in your life. So this is pretty much what is happening in this week. I just tried to give you a short overview because I know these videos can be sometimes long or long, and you know you just want to be getting the most out of these aspects in a short and easy way to understand. So if you like this video, don't forget to press like, and also next to the subscribe button, there is a notification bell so you can get further news about the upcoming astrological um, matters in the sky. And if you are interested in one of my courses, then as I said, there will be 3 new courses coming up about relationship matters, which is going to be about timing of relationship, Juno in the chart, and also how to describe on a physical level your partner, so it's easier for you to spot when they come around. I'm looking forward to see you all in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.